A group of anti-vaxxers recently stormed into a town hall curated by Representative Jared Huffman. So now he is a San Rafael congressman who actually was excited to do his first town hall in person since coronavirus. And so all this was meticulously planned to be as safe as possible, while also allowing about 100 constituents to attend this this in-person town hall. Attendees, of course, were asked to wear a face mask, have a vaccination proof of vaccination to enter the community center. Chairs were 6 feet apart. Questions were submitted ahead of time. And so, look, there's a lot of planning into making this run smooth and very COVID safe. And it really, should have been an incredibly poor, not poor, but boring town hall. That did not happen. It apparently all came crashing down within minutes after the meeting commenced, where this ended up happening. Yeah, that happened. So, in all, there were about 200 people that were enraged, unmasked, and obviously yelling and talking about ferrets. The ferrets are dead. They're dead, Jim. Ferrets? Wait, there's a conspiracy theory about the ferrets. Wait for that one. All right. But it gets crazier. So now, this is an account of a reporter who was at this meeting. And so now, when these anti-maskers came in, there was another group that was waiting outside. These are pro-elk people, right? And so about a dozen of them who had stood outside the center with signs protesting Huffman's support for the culling of elk went into the hall and figured, why not? There's already people in there. Screw it. Let's go in and protect the elk. Now, unlike the other crowd, this one actually wore masks and they took seats and they're just like holding up their signs like protect the elk. All right, great. Now, it was still essentially chaos in that room. Now, to his credit, Huffman tried to control the situation the best he could. He didn't call the cops. He tried to do his presentation, was actually excited about doing his speech and presentation and all that stuff in his town hall and answer questions. So good on him, right? So now he also told people, hey, if you're worried about COVID-19, look, we tried to set it up the best that we could. Obviously, that did not happen. So if you're worried about it, you should probably go. You might want to exit because this just turned into a super spreader event somehow. And then again proceeded with his town hall. Okay. Now, at one point, he had this was faced with, talking excessively loud, chanting, booing. He did tell the crowd that they were, quote, disrespectful of democracy, the law, and science, which did not make them at all happy. At one point, the ferrets died protester had also tried to rip the mask off of an elderly man, but was stopped when Huffman called her out. The ferrets died. The ferrets! They died. All the ferrets. And after Huffman criticized the U.S. Senate's refusal to investigate the January 6th insurrection with the commission, the crowd also booed, yelling, Biden is illegitimate and no segregation, and we want the filibuster. That is like the first time I've ever heard a conservative saying, we don't like segregation. Oh, right, because it's not that segregation. Sure. As if it's not insane enough, another woman who was part of this crowd ended up leading a group of kids wearing fairy wings and anti-vax signs around the room in a march. Why you gotta get the kids involved, yo? Again, why are you making the children do this? They probably have no idea what they're talking about. It's anti-vax stuff. Ridiculous. Gross. So you can tell they're all pretty much Trump supporters, conservatives. In fact, their political positions, which they shouted out, were opposing peace with Iran, being against Medicare for all, and being against taxing the rich. Although they did calm down a bit when Huffman announced support for more public transportation funding and local infrastructure. So, hey, it's something, right? And also force management, as it is California. And so not only that, but they appear to have been okay with expanding the post office. They only started booing when he brought up immigration, or at least when he brought up something that tangentially, related to immigration, which would, of course, is him showing that the population of California was growing, likely because, it's brown people. Well, we don't like those. We don't like them brown people, they say. In fact, there was no black or brown people in that room whatsoever, according to the reporter. But there was one person outside wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt and holding a sign that was pro-Indigenous people, pro-mask. Now, the reporter decided that he's going to take a picture and was immediately accosted by a white woman, a Karen, who demanded to know, why are you only taking pictures of her? Because, of course. The reporter finally writes, as the town hall wound down, the anti-vaxxers gathered outside for a conspiratorial talk about how scores of ferrets were injected with COVID vaccines and died from the treatment. So that's where the ferrets come from, which, of course, is complete and utter nonsense. And then, satisfied with the pseudo-scientific foundations to their cause, the maskless mass marched through this downtown San Rafael wearing their cursing flags, chanting incoherently about the greatest hoax in the history of mankind. Fun. I bet they didn't expect that one coming. Now, of course, you can laugh, haha, funny, crazy people, but here's the thing. As the country opens up and as more in-person events are going to happen, especially with politicians, you're going to see a lot more of this. Again, what? Half of all Republicans believe that Donald Trump won the election. Significant amount of Republican voters also don't believe that coronavirus was. They still believe it's a hoax, or they're against the vaccines. Just all these different insane conspiracies. And now they're opening up, and now they're going to be around. All the crazy that has been locked up for a year, that has been contained, is now running free, coming to a block near you. God help us all. Here comes the mob of anti-vax Karen Trump supporters. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.